Jehovah's Witnesses just came out with their latest Watchtower, and it is full of new light and dating advice. Now, originally I was going to have this into one video, but I decided I should break it up into two because each section turned out to be 30 minutes long each. So, first off, we're going to talk about dating advice because I think it's absolutely hilarious. So, buckle up because this is going to be a real laugher. Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally and today we are going to be talking about dating culture and Jehovah's Witnesses and all of the weird eccentricities that are involved when you are a single Jehovah's Witness. Quickly before we get into it, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps it get out to more people on the YouTube algorithm. With all of that being said, let's do this. Now it's time to talk about dating as a Jehovah's Witness. Now, for those of you that don't know, dating as a Jehovah's Witness is really awful. It is truly terrible. I would rather have my colon examined by a doctor that had cactus fingers than date as a Jehovah's Witness ever again.
You know, if I did some sit-ups in the morning or bent over like this, I'd probably feel 100% Moon River.
Because the whole setup is designed to make you paranoid, miserable, and you're not going to really get to know a person all that well. So it starts off, would you like to get married? While marriage is not essential for happiness, many single Christians, whether young or old, look forward to having a marriage mate. Now let's pause straight off the bat here. While marriage is not essential for happiness, get a group of 1,000 people and all have them raise their hand who would like to go their entire lives with never having sex. And there might be a couple. Obviously, there's some people that are just asexual, not interested in that, and that's totally fine. But the vast majority of people are going to be keeping their hands down. Maybe you'll get like 1, 2, or 3 that would raise their hand. So when you are a Jehovah's Witness, the only way that you can have sex without being shunned by your entire family and social group and all of your friends is to be marry another Jehovah's Witness. So it creates this paradigm here of, hey, it's not essential for happiness, but to the vast majority of people, it kind of is. Dropping down here to paragraph 4, no doubt you have prayed about finding a mate if that is your desire. Of course, Jehovah does not promise anyone a marriage partner, but he does care about your needs and feelings, and he can help you with the process of finding a mate. So continue sharing your desires and feelings with him. These things always make me kind of itch my head and just wonder, okay, so you can pray for some lonely person to find a partner, and yet other things that people pray about, like, I don't know, people starving to death, homelessness, diseases, he won't really help with those things, but boy howdy, if you need a partner, God's got you covered. Pray for patience and wisdom. John, a single brother from the United States, explains what he includes in his prayers. Quote, I tell Jehovah the qualities I desire in a mate. I pray for opportunities to meet a potential mate. I also ask Jehovah to help me develop qualities that will make me a good husband. Tanya, a sister from Sri Lanka, says, while I look for a potential mate, I ask Jehovah to help me stay faithful, positive, and happy. Even if you do not find a potential mate right away, Jehovah promises to continue caring for your physical and emotional needs. So apparently, if you're all bricked up downstairs, if you're having some sexual frustration, if you just pray about it, Jehovah will care for your physical and emotional needs. That's a new one, but I guess the Holy Spirit is stronger than I could have ever imagined. We don't have to get into that any deeper. Dropping down to paragraph 7, what if you think someone might make a good marriage mate? Should you immediately express interest in that person? The Bible says that a wise person acquires knowledge before acting. So you would be wise to observe someone discreetly for a time before expressing your interest in that person. Feelings can develop quickly, but also disappear quickly, says Ashwin from the Netherlands. So by giving yourself time to observe someone, you won't initiate a courtship based on impulse. Furthermore, as you observe the other person, you may realize the person is not ideal for you. I don't know why it gives me like the giggles to think about you need to observe someone discreetly for a certain amount of time.
Several days later.
Hey, Eugene. Sorry, I didn't even notice you there. I was texting my 5th Bible study. So, I have a return visit that I think you guys might make a pretty good pair. I was wondering if you, maybe we could, link up and I could introduce you to and see how things go. Well, let me think about that. No, never, ew, bye. Well, it probably wouldn't have worked between you guys anyway. How many Bible studies do you have? Anyway, I'll see you on Sunday.
I don't know why I got so tickled by the expression observe discreetly for a time, but boy howdy, it really gave me a laugh and I couldn't help myself. And yes, I did shave my beard just to do that, but hey, it was all worth it. So in order to describe what this observing from a distance for a while looks like, we get some artwork and first off, the girl, not too subtly just looking over at this guy, but I know exactly what she's thinking. Because she looks at him and sees that he has the classic arm on the shoulder. Now, anyone that knows, this means you are elder material. If you can talk to another person and put your arm on their shoulder, you know that that person is one day going to be an elder, if he's not already an elder to begin with. And that is exactly what she's thinking. She's like, oh, look at him working that arm on the shoulder. Sheesh. And then we have another example where she is giving a talk and he's in the audience looking at her side profile, thinking to himself, God damn, that is one silhouette. That is unbelievable. And then in the next picture, we really get the true elder body language here. This guy is a winner 100% because he not only has perfected the fine art of the shoulder touch, but he's also perfected the art of the head tilt when you're talking. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, you know when you know, because this is a classic elder move. They show it in videos and in their illustrations in different articles. It's the head tilt when you're listening, because you can't just listen like this. You can't just look at someone and listen. If you're really listening, you're listening like this. It's so funny. Now let's take a look at another piece of media that is embedded in this article, and that is a video, which is cringe, misogynistic, weird, and hilarious all at the same time. So with all of that being said, I did want to just try and inject a little bit more variety of opinions. So I, have my thoughts and opinions, but I thought it would be interesting to find a couple people that would have a completely different perspective than I do when it comes to dating culture and courtship and all of this within the Jehovah's Witnesses. So let's do that.
Circuit assignment. Rick's been a great circuit overseer, spiritually mature, experienced, and patient. With us.
Tom, your thought?
The brothers and sisters.
Rick is single,
Really good.
and sadly, there were plenty times we turned that gift into a challenge. Ever since his first visit.
Hello, Jeff. Yeah, I have a minute. Oh, that. Laundry night. My washing machine is a clunker.
I just assumed a single brother had lots of free time. I didn't know how much he had to do on his own. But there was a lot more I didn't understand.
Okay, first of all, I just need to say, he's doing his own laundry. His own laundry. Like, if a woman comes into the picture, there's going to be twice the amount of laundry. And with an equal distribution of tasks, they're both doing laundry or like the equivalent of that.
See this basket thing? I don't know how it happens, if it's the house or what, but any dirty clothes you put in this basket, somehow the next day they're just clean, folded, and in a perfect pile on your bed.
You're not serious.
I couldn't believe it at first either.
So they're basically just saying, oh, poor guy, no wife, has to do all the laundry, all the chores, doesn't have anyone at home, just, picking up after him.
Wait, there's other things too. Plates, cutlery, pizza boxes, dirty tissues, anything you leave on this coffee table just vanishes overnight. I mean, sometimes I'll see how far I can push this thing and I'll just leave shit everywhere. And then sure enough, the next day, it's all gone. It's just vanished. It's magic.
What was the piece about they turned that gift into a challenge? Why, what is the meaning behind that? Why is it a gift? And then they're like so sad that they were trying to get this dude wifed up, Also, I would hope that this dude would do what he wants. If he wants to be single or if he wants to have a girlfriend or wife or date, which we know he can't do, but
Now, one of the big issues from people that I've talked to is when it relates to you are only a child. You're 16, 17 years old, and you're getting scouted out by men. And these men kind of are the vehicle for any progress you can make within the organization. Could you speak to your personal experience with that?
Yeah, I think, okay, we'll say the age of 18 is very significant as a witness, right? And it was personally for me. I got married at 18, and it was such a cultural norm within the witness organization that it was kind of just yeah, this is what you do. This is what I do. And I don't have, there are things a woman can aspire to, right? I could be an elder's wife. I could go to Bethel. I could serve where the need is greater. I can do these things, but I can't hold any position of authority. So I just need to be with someone who can. And then also, if I'm married and the dude I'm married to is not striving to become an MS and then to become an elder and, to continuously be better within the organization, then that's a reflection on me that I can't really do anything about. And yeah, I think it's just I have no power as a woman in the Jehovah's Witness organization. And And the only thing I'm looking forward to is like being 18, getting married.
Bye.
Hey, look. They have something there.
It sounds like a great Bible study. I can't wait to meet her.
Thank you very much. See you then.
See ya.
They will be really good. I don't know what you're waiting for.
For what?
Come on. A single circuit overseer, a pioneer sister? You gotta be looking for a seer wife.
What kind of car does she drive?
She drives a green Camry, and the seats go all the way down. All the way down.
Oh my God.
So I'm just going to give Watchtower the remedy to the problem that they're presenting here, and it's not just by ignoring it. The reason that this happens is because of boredom. When you're a Jehovah's Witness, the organization controls what TV shows and movies you watch, what books you read, what music you listen to, who you can talk to, who you can date. Hell, they even have rules against like masturbation. People are bored and looking for any type of flavor in their life. It's like just eating food with no salt for your entire life. You are going to be so desperate to have that French fry that it's just like salty satiation. And that is exactly what teasing single people is. As someone that was a Jehovah's Witness until I was 25 years old, I can tell you definitively, this is the number one thing people talk about. And that's because you don't have a lot else on the table to talk about. Because if you want to talk about music, you might get in trouble and you might have one of your friends report you to the elders. If you want to talk about that you went and saw a rated R movie, well, you can't do that. Oh, you can't talk about a TV show. Hell, I had someone that got offended that I liked Toy Story. Toy Story. Someone going around and telling the congregation that I was promoting demonism and the occult, because obviously the only way there would be talking toys was because of demons. Yes, that is the state of conversation. So what's on the table? Well, you can ask someone if they like someone and you won't get in trouble for that. That's about all you got. So this problem, this perceived problem, is built out of sheer boredom. When it's so controlling in your community that someone can't talk about Toy Story without getting in trouble, what do you expect them? They will just, it's like water. They'll follow the path of least resistance. And the one thing they don't really get in trouble about is like, hey, I see you're single. What do you think about her? And this is discounting all of the people that maybe were struggling with who they were attracted to. Maybe this person wasn't attracted to women, and yet he's constantly getting teased and sort of bullied about not being attracted to women. The whole thing is so completely cooked, but I did want to at least show this video as part of reviewing this Watchtower article, because I think it does highlight a lot of the problems involved with being a Jehovah's Witness. Okay, before this video drags on for over an hour, I don't know, I've recorded this over a couple days now, so maybe it's already going to be over an hour, but let's jump into this last article that's giving some helpful tips for a successful courtship, and jumping right down to other factors to consider. Whom should you tell about your courtship? That is for you to decide as a couple. Early in the relationship, you may consider limiting the number of people you tell. By doing so, you may avoid unnecessary pressure and questions. However, if you do tell anyone, you might end up isolating yourselves for fear that others will find out. This can be dangerous. So it would be wise to at least inform those who can provide good advice and practical assistance. For example, family members, mature friends, or elders. So this is a funny thing that happens within the Jehovah's Witness community, because when you tell someone that, oh yeah, we're dating, there is an unbelievable amount of pressure that happens immediately because you have to be married. I would, let me think about this. Yeah, I can confidently say that the majority of people that I knew married the first person that they ever dated. Think about this, like, in the real world, us normal people out here. You marry the first person. That means you've only ever held hands with one person. You've only ever kissed one person. You've only, like, it's crazy to think about. And surely, I can't imagine that this is a healthy way to live your life, because you're always going to walk around with this, like, well, what else is there out there? I don't know anything else. Am I in a toxic relationship? I wouldn't even know if I was in a toxic relationship, because I've never experienced a different relationship outside of this paradigm. The second part is even funnier. How can you keep your courtship honorable? As your feelings grow, you will naturally feel more attracted to each other. What can help you to keep yourselves morally clean? Avoid immoral conversations, being alone together, and heavy drinking. These things can arouse passion and weaken your resolve to do what is right. Why not regularly discuss together what measures you can take to keep your courtship honorable? Immoral conversations, being alone together, and drinking. Have these guys ever been on a date?
Everything okay?
Why are you wearing a hat now?
Guys, come on. I'm on a date. Let me do my thing.
Hi, I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet me. How do you like your eggs in the morning?
Hey, you should avoid everything that people do on dates when you go out on a date. You know, don't ever be alone together. You know, don't drink anything. Don't get involved in immoral conversations. You need to have these conversations, because how do you know if you're sexually compatible? Which is a massive thing. Like, if you get married to someone and you realize you're not sexually compatible, and it's like, oh boy, this is rough. Like, you put yourself in a really difficult situation. So this is super, super messed up, but I have a friend, and I'm trying to involve more voices than just mine. I'm not trying to just dominate the conversation with just my opinions and my experiences. But I have a friend, a good friend, that they were actually dating when they were studying to become Jehovah's Witnesses. And they have an absolutely fascinating perspective about how this doesn't only apply to Jehovah's Witnesses who are baptized, but even if you want to become a Jehovah's Witness, this mentality, this culture bleeds into that.
This couple made a very big deal about us riding in a car to the meetings together. They made it a point to create an entire study hour of ours about it, that we needed to think about other people's perception of what this would look like to have us roll up to the Kingdom Hall together in the same car.
You two are dating. You're not Jehovah's Witnesses. And they want you to drive separately for 40 minutes?
Yes.
Because it might offend someone that you two are riding in a car together.
Correct. That is
bonkers.
It was pretty crazy. And even at the time, I was pretty serious about becoming a witness at the time. And even then I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, I mean, what do they think we're going to do? Like, pull off on the side of the road? Like,
going to God's house, and boy howdy, we're about to get it on.
Do it on the way.
The old highway hand job. Oh, I'll have to cut that one out. I don't think I should say highway hand job on YouTube. Maybe I should leave it in.
You should leave it in.
Jesus Christ. Oh, there's something wrong with me. So what was like the feeling that you had then as you sort of became more and more integrated within the congregation and navigating that with going through a relationship?
Sure. So it was hard because like I didn't want to waste gas. Like I didn't want to drive 2 cars up there, and oh yeah, and we were living together at the time.
Wait, hold on. So you were living together. So it was like, we know what's going on. We just don't want to see it.
Right. Well, and they knew that because the couple that we studied with would come to the house where we were living, and that's where we would have our study.
Mhm.
And so like they knew that we were living together. Oh yeah, and they pushed me to get my own place as well.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So how did everything play out then?
So the couple encouraged me to or not encouraged, they invited me to come and stay the night on Saturday nights to help avoid that situation. And they made it sound all nice, like, oh, like we can like hang out and you have friends up here, you can come and see them and hang out with them, which that wasn't always ideal because of course I still had, family to go see and things like that. So it wasn't always the case. I did do it a few times, but it was hard because I wanted to do the right thing, but at the same time, it didn't really make sense to me because, like, they could see the progress that I was making to be a witness, and yet they were not trusting at all
Yeah.
that we wouldn't do anything on the way to a meeting.
Yes, there you have it. You can't even be someone studying with a Jehovah's Witness and drive to the meeting with someone that you are living with because of the perception, because it might offend someone. This is how far they take this mentality. And I can confirm, like, growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, my brain was taught that if a man and a woman were ever alone, ever in any situation together by themselves, they would have sex. That's just how things happened. Like, no matter what, even if you're in the car, like, if you're on the bus, if you're the only people on the plane, train, automobile, it doesn't matter. If a man and a woman are alone together, they will have sex. And it sounds funny to say now, but I mean this genuinely. That was how I thought the world actually worked. And they carry this over and force it on other people so far that my friend here had to like stay with the person she was studying with so she could go to the Sunday meeting without driving there, but they wouldn't have to take 2 cars because it was a 45-minute drive. So each way, an hour and a half, like it makes absolutely no sense. So I just think it's crazy that it's not only something that they try and enforce on believing Jehovah's Witnesses, baptized members, but they think that this is a valuable thing that they should be sharing to the rest of the world. So one last thing before we sign this video off, we got to talk about what's appropriate conduct for 2 people that are dating, and we get a little bit specific here, so let's let it ride. In paragraph 11, it says, "What about displays of affection? Some may be appropriate as your relationship progresses. However, if your passions are aroused, you will likely find it hard to think objectively about the other person. Displays of affection can also easily escalate and lead to misconduct. Therefore, earlier in your relationship, discuss what limits you will set in harmony with Bible principles." And then we have this beautiful footnote. "Fondling of another person's genitals is a form of sexual immorality, requiring that the congregation elders take judicial action. Fondling of the breast in immoral conversations by text or telephone could also result in judicial action depending on the circumstances. Alrighty dighty. So if you're a believing Jehovah's Witness out there, old Uncle Wally's gonna give you the download on this little cheat code here. So did you notice how they have a differentiation between fondling of the genitals and the breasts and immoral texts and conversations? One is requiring of judicial action, and the other may require judicial action depending on the circumstances. This is called the gray area, and I'm it's like I'm out here in confession. The funny thing is like telling this story is like if you told it to Jehovah's Witnesses, it would be like super scandalous. Everyone would be losing their minds. And yet if you told it to just a normal person, they would be like, that is the most like wholesome thing ever. Like that's all you did? Wow, that's crazy. So I myself have taken a part of the touching of boobs back in my day before we were married. I had met up with a girl on multiple occasions, and we made out, and one time, maybe it was twice, we were in the back of my car just kissing and making out and talking, and I maybe slipped in a boob touch. But the funniest part is this is so stupid. I specifically remember like doing my little morning routine, putting on, you know, my facial moisturizer and cleaner. And I looked in the mirror and I very seriously, I said, today I'm going to touch a boob. And I did. So, woohoo! Yeehaw! But it's so horrible because the repression is real. Like it does just exist, and you're not supposed to do these things. But when you know what the rules are, and it's like, okay, as long as no one touches anyone's genitals, that's fine. But you can, it's just like splitting hairs and everything. So it's really like, it's funny to look back on, but I know that the sexual repression is real and legitimate, but I am someone that just has to look back and have a bit of a giggle at how ultimately wholesome and like innocent we were, because I know a lot of other witnesses had this very similar experience. I know a lot of my friends had the same experience as this. But it's just funny to look back on something like, as a normal person, wow, that was like wholesome and you were really exercising self-control. And then as a witness, this would be, well, this might mean that you get shunned from your entire family judicial committee, you lose all privileges, and you're looked down upon for the next 3 years. It's absolutely crazy. But anyway, with all of that being said, that's the end of this video. Shout out to the people that helped me with this and gave their perspective. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're still around, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps it get out to more people in the YouTube algorithm. With that being said, stay safe, be kind, and show yourself the same kindness that you try and show to other people. And after this long-ass video, you better have a good-ass day.